Hello YouTube, it's Chris with Expat Theory, back again, bringing you another update. It's been a fun winter. So gotta start talking about what's happened over the month of January, because I really haven't made too many videos since then. It's been pretty hectic and crazy. The weather has really been atrocious, and brought some changes that I wasn't expecting. I had not planned on the amount of time that we as truck drivers are not able to actually drive. Just wasn't part of my thought process. You know, my first year in, I didn't really know, so I found out kind of the hard way. There are multiple times where I've been finding myself parked for 12, 24, 36, 48 hours or more due to the road conditions. The first trip that we really got was coming across Interstate 40, coming out of California, heading back to the East Coast, and we were in Arizona, out by Flagstaff. And no, I take that back. We were headed to California, and when we got Flagstaff, Arizona, it was just not safe. It was not safe driving. So we ended up shutting down, and we were there for 2 days. And you know, I can tell you, that's one of the not so fun things about truck driving. You know, we're already in a cramped, tight space, and you're talking about two individuals that have to basically live together in a very tight quarters situation, and then you throw in the downtime where it's just the two of you and the truck, you know, and it's difficult not only on your brain but on your body. You get tired of just sitting. The boredom is not cool. You try to find things to keep yourself amused, you know, games to play on your phone or on your tablet, and watch movies and stuff like that, and Netflix and Hulu and, you know, all that good stuff to try to pass the time. But it's difficult. You know, it's also difficult on your work relationship, because, you know, you're in tight quarters with somebody, and, you know, you really got to make sure that your co-driver and you can coexist. I can't even imagine being in a situation like that with somebody that you don't like or respect. That would not be good. I mean, you can work with people, but at the end of the workday, you get to go home, you know, and you're away from them, and you can do your own thing, and it's not a big deal. But when you live with someone, that's a different story. So it's stressful. Anyway, continuing on from there, we got stuck a couple of different times going back and forth. We went into the Maryland area just as that nor'easter was hitting, which was not good. And we kind of got stuck in that whole Northeast throughout the whole thing. We were stuck in the Maryland, Pennsylvania area for days and days. And we headed back out west towards Salt Lake City and all that. We got stuck in Wamsutter, Wyoming for a couple of days. We got stuck for overnight in Billings, Montana. We got stuck for like 2 days in Gary, Indiana. That's close to the lake there, so we were getting the lake effect, which was not, it was surprising for me. I've never seen snow that big in my life. I've seen snow. I ain't seen snow that big. It was coming out, it looked like somebody was shaking a doggone bag of cotton balls over the windshield. That was some big snow, and it collected fast. So anyway, the shutdowns have really affected my paychecks. because you're only making money when the wheels are turning, which I had not planned on. I had not budgeted for. So it really cut into my my scheduling and planning of my finances. So I wasn't expecting to be drawing, what I consider half checks. And literally the paychecks I was getting, some of them were actually even lower than what I was making at CVS. That is something I really hadn't thought of and planned of. Now I know better. And overall, throughout the whole year, I will still do well, especially compared to CVS. That's not hard to beat. But it changed my planning a lot. So financially, towards my end goals, I have not made back some of the money I spent during the Christmas season, Christmas, New Year's time. So I'm a bit behind on my financials. Hopefully, once we start rolling good and hard, which should be starting now, when I go back on the road. I'm at home right now. But when I go back on the road, either tomorrow or the next day, from here forward throughout the rest of the year until we get to winter again, I'm really hoping to knuckle down, make some good money, make back what I missed throughout the winter time. Like I said, I am here at home in North Carolina. I've had a couple of days off. My co-driver needed to take care of some things while he was at home. We are required, as part of our CDL, we have to have a physical every 2 years. And my co-driver actually uses a CPAP machine for his sleep apnea, and because he has that going, he has to have a physical every year instead of every 2 years. And there are other conditions out there. It's part of the truck driving world that, they make sure that you have decent health before you operate these vehicles. And in the news lately, there's been a whole lot of tractor trailer wrecks. One especially in Dallas, and there was another one that just happened like yesterday or the day before. Had an SUV that crashed into a rock hauler, and we're in the limelight right now, and not in a good way. People don't understand that these trucks are not the same as your cars. They just don't get it. They don't get it that these vehicles are 70 feet long and multi-tons of freight. They don't stop on a dime, and they sure as heck don't accelerate quickly. So we can't get out of the way. That doesn't happen. And braking, we need a lot of space. So there was a whole lot of lawsuits and problems coming out of that one in Texas, where they're trashing the industry as a whole, saying the drivers were untrained and unskilled, and basically it's a push for insurance money. And I understand there was deaths involved. I understand. But it sucks that they're attacking the industry and they're attacking these professional drivers to get the money. Because it throws a bad light. It throws a bad light on the industry as a whole. It gets people to thinking that, truck drivers are unskilled, that they're untrained. They're idiots, basically. And that's not the case. I mean, yeah, some of them are jerks. Yeah, that's a definite given. But when it comes down to operating these vehicles, you do have to go through the training. You have to go to a school. I mean, you can do it yourself, but you still have to achieve that same level of knowledge, whether you go through a private individual to learn, using somebody's truck, or if you go to a school. You still have to achieve the basic driving skills. You still have to pass the tests to get your license in the first place, and then get hired on with a training company. Now, almost every company that I'm aware of puts you with a trainer. You don't go just, here's a truck, here's keys, have at it. That doesn't happen. Once you're experienced, yes, but coming straight out of school or out of just getting your brand new license, that's normally not the case. There may be some, but normally not the case. All the ones that I'm familiar with, you're put with a trainer and you ride with someone else until such time as they feel that you're sufficient with your driving skills. And they practice backing and they practice turns and stuff. So you get time behind the wheel before you're cut loose to drive on the highway. So with us being in the limelight lately with all these wrecks, you know, people got to remember that the weather's terrible. Roads are icy. And in a big truck like that, it's really, really difficult to manage. And that's why a lot of us shut down. And that's why I understand the shutdowns. It's just safer, you know. So it's necessary to shut down, but it hurts. It hurts financially when you do that. One thing I also wanted to notice is I finally, with the help of my daughter, I could not find a wireless microphone in a brick and mortar store anywhere. I could find some UHF, VHF for like music equipment and stuff. That was fine. But Bluetooth, nowhere. I was really shocked. I thought with the popularity of YouTubing and vlogging and Twitch and all these other channels that people are using, that finding a Bluetooth wireless microphone really wouldn't be that big of a challenge. It turned out I was very wrong. So we ended up having to order it. So I finally got one, and I tested it out. It's been working pretty good. So now when I'm doing my videos, I can actually, you know, step back and talk to you guys and get a little wider picture here and not have to be right up onto the camera, because my microphone on the phone is what was recording before. So the audio would drop. You know, the further back I got, it was terrible. So it's been a little bit of a headache for me trying to do my videoing. So this is going to be much nicer, and it wasn't very expensive. It was 40, 50 bucks, whatever. But it's nice, and it works good. And I like the interface. It's a Type-C connector. I have a Galaxy, or the Note 10 Plus. It does not have a 3.5 millimeter jack. It only uses Type-C for everything. So this one came with the Type-C connections. Easy to work with, easy to charge up. So I forgot the company name on it, but they're out there. You just, if you're interested and you need something, they're out there, but you pretty much have to go online. Finding them in a brick and mortar store close to you, good luck. I did it for months and couldn't find it. I finally decided, you know, to go ahead and do it online. Also, let's see, I started another one of the steps towards my retirement. It's a big one in a way. I have a legal situation. Not something I really like to talk about. It's kind of personal in a way, so I don't want to get too much in depth, but it's a legal situation that I need to get taken care of. I actually contacted an attorney while I was home. Started this process, paid for all the review and consultation stuff, and they came back with a flat rate to handle my problem, and it was $1,500. So that's paid. It should get resolved within the next 60 to 90 days. So it's just another one of those little steps and stages. It's on my list. It's, again, if it wasn't so personal, I'd kind of talk about more of it, but let's just say it involves an ex. So I'm going to get it taken care of and straightened out, and hopefully this year. I also need to get my tax situation, which is another legal situation I need to deal with. I want to get that straightened out. So I am moving forward with the things that I need to clear up, clean up, take care of, straighten out for my future. COVID, of course, is still a problem. So COVID is still kicking butt everywhere, unless you're in Texas and Mississippi, which is really great. I can't wait for the rest of the states to finally go, you know what, you and your mask mandates. I'm so sick of the masks. Things are worthless. They don't stop nothing. So I know there's arguments over that, but you know, it's just my opinion. My opinion is they're worthless. You know, if I can smell your farts through my mask, your COVID can go through my mask. So, because it's much smaller particles. Anyway, they argue that it's effective. I don't believe so. So I'll be glad when it's done, gone, and over. I cannot plan any kind of future trips over to the Philippines to do any kind of exploratory, exploratory trips to kind of look around, see around what I'm interested in, where I want to live because of COVID. And I do want to get over there at least once or twice before I actually, retire. And here's my luggage and I'm getting off the plane and here I am. I kind of want to have an idea of what area I want to be in. And that may change. I may even get there and say, you know what, I like this area to visit, but not the area I want to live in. So it will still be playing by ear, but I want to have a starting point. And I haven't decided yet. Cebu is still kind of top of the list. Dumaguete is also up there. I've looked at other places, Bohol, Bacolod, Iloilo, Davao. There's a couple of good places out there that are interesting. But for the sheer size of the city and amounts of things to do and see, and just overall, right now Cebu is still kind of top of the list. Not too thrilled with Manila. Manila, especially I hear really good, is Makati area, but that's a little too big for me, I think. I mean, that's a very highly populated area, and I think I've heard rumor and or unverified statistics of 13 million people in a city. I lived in Dallas, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's got like 7.5 million people. That's a big city, and I wasn't real thrilled with that. So I don't know that I'm going to like 13 million people in Manila. Don't think that's really going to suit me well. I don't think Cebu might be much smaller, to be honest with you. So this is something I'm kind of worried about. Cebu might actually be a little too big for me too. But that right now is my starting point. So anyway, I just wanted to touch base and let you guys know what's going on. Sorry I haven't been able to make as many videos. It's been too damn cold to get out of the truck. Sloshing around in shin-high snow and ice. And I don't really like to make videos. I like to kind of have my private time to make my videos. So it's a little uncomfortable when you're in the truck with a co-driver and trying to make a video. So that wasn't really much of an option for me either. So I do plan on trying to make more videos, and I keep saying that, but it is part of the plan. It's just winter has been a challenge. But now that the weather's starting to get a little nicer, I'm wearing a hoodie right now. I'm thinking about coming out of it because it's really nice out here today in North Carolina. With the weather getting nicer, I should be able to get out more. And I've got more of the tools that I need now. I did get a very nice microphone, but I also have a nice little stand that I'm using, which helps obviously with the stability. And if you notice, I don't know if you noticed over the last couple of videos I've made, I've actually used the stand, and I don't have as much of the bouncing around. So slowly, step by step, I'm getting a little more professional with this. I don't have video editing skills yet, something I probably need to learn. I can't make these really nice professional videos that some of the YouTubers make. But maybe one day I'll be able to get to that point where I can actually, maybe toss in some intros and music and maybe even have my own little logo and all this stuff. I don't have that yet, so I haven't progressed to that point, but I wouldn't mind having that set up a little nicer and a little more professional, And of course, you guys know when the channel is going to actually kind of transcend this part, when I actually start doing more traveling, it's going to turn a little more into a travel channel, because I'm going to be showing you guys accommodations and locations and resorts and things like that, things to see, things to do, food to eat. So there's going to be a little more to it as the channel progresses and I grow in my abilities and skills with my videoing. But I want to take a second and say, anybody that is following and watching, I do appreciate you. I know there's not many. It's not exactly a super fun channel yet, It's more of a just flat informational documentary almost kind of thing, until I get more professional in my video making and have more content to cover. So, but for those of you following and sticking with me through this journey, I do appreciate you being out there, and I will try to keep you updated as much as possible. So anyway, that's it for today. I will get back in here and want to get back on the road and start getting some more content to video about, and I'll let you know how things are going. But as of today, everything's still on track. I'm just a little behind on financials. I do not have the savings that I had envisioned at this point, but I'm still way ahead of the game. I still have a good solid amount in the bank. I am still moving in the right direction. I am still taking care of the different things that I need to clear up as I progress. Those things are moving forward, and at one point it's going to get down to where everything's ready except for making money. So that's my goal. The last few years of doing this, I just want it to be straight making money for savings, and have everything ready to rock and roll. Have my passport ready. I don't have any property. I don't have anything. The only thing I do have is my car, which I'm going to make sure that goes to my kids so they can use it. Get up here. Got the old car there. That's the new car. It's been doing great, by the way. Beautiful little car, and she runs perfect. Love it. It's got all the nice little bells and whistles. Everything works really nice. I can hook up my phone in that sucker, and it's got everything. I can talk to the car as I'm driving, telling it I want directions to whatever, and it'll give it to me. It's pretty cool. I listen to my music, listen to my baby metal or my Weird Darkness podcasts or whatever. Oh, and that's another thing. For those of you people who are on Facebook as well as here, if you haven't checked out Weird Darkness, I highly recommend that. It's a podcast. A guy named Darren Marlar. He does audiobooks, and he also does a podcast. I believe it's daily, and he takes the weird, the unexplained, true crime, myths, lores, legends, all kinds of weird UFOs, Bigfoot, whatever. Kind of reminds me of the old days of the Coast to Coast with Art Bell and George Norrie, and mix it with some In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy, and put it into a podcast with a guy who's got a voice that's really just almost like designed for audiobooks. He's got a really good voice and a really good tone. So he's one of those ones you can just sit and listen to. And he could be reading a stupid phone book. It doesn't matter. He's got a really good quality voice. I like his voice a lot. So, and I'm on Facebook, I did post up a link for Weird Darkness, and it's the Cycle of the Werewolf, which is actually the beginnings. It's the original content that started the book and movie of Silver Bullet by Stephen King. And I really liked that. I listened to that whole thing while I'm driving, and it was very entertaining, very entertaining. And I find that, you know, especially when I'm on night shift driving, I really like to listen to Weird Darkness. It keeps my brain active and keeps me alive and awake and attention going. I'm watching the road, but I'm also got my brain going listening into that podcast. So I do recommend it, whether you're driving or not, especially if it's dark and you like dark, creepy, weird stuff. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Anyway, let me get out of here. This video has gone a little long. You guys be good. Take care. I will see you on the next video. And I'll keep you advised of what's happening. Peace out.